Hey guys, what's going on? Coming at you with a Wednesday morning video. So I wanted to talk about PayPal, ticker is PYPL. Their earnings just came out yesterday after the bell. So some just things that happened. This stock was, for the past 3 to 4 months, it's been just getting hammered. And it was, for the past 2 months, it was sitting anywhere from like $68, floating between $68 and $90. So this was a stock I've owned since 2019, and I was buying really anything under 200 I thought was a great deal, and we are now sitting sub 100, which is insane to say. So I was buying this stock in 2019 around $200, held it, didn't take any profits when it went euphoric in 2021 and 2020. But as a long-term investor, I didn't feel like I needed to, and I felt like, I thought they were just going to continue to grow. However, things U-turned. Obviously, there's a lot of fear with the pandemic, the war, inflation. There's a whole bunch of things that happened. It was kind of a perfect storm, and here we are sitting sub 100 still. So yesterday after earnings, the stock did pop 11% after hours. It is sitting currently around $99.88. So that's a big jump from $68.75-ish dollars. So if you've watched my previous videos, I was buying anywhere from the 68 to really was dollar cost averaging the whole way down, but I was buying very aggressively between like the 70 and 90 per dollar. So I drove my cost base down from 190 to 122. So that's my cost base on PayPal right now, 122. So I'm still a little under my cost base, but it's a big jump from where it was a couple weeks ago, around 70 bucks. So this position is very well built out. I currently hold 17 stocks. This is a top 5 position of mine. So I'm not really looking to add any more at this current cost base, but if you're interested in buying PayPal, you're thinking about it, or you want to start a position in PayPal, really, in my eyes, anything under $200 is a great deal long term if you want to build something out. So buying it at $99 right now is, in my eyes, is a great deal. But like I said, you got to ask yourself, how big do you want to, you don't want to get overweighted in a position in the market personally. So they had a double beat. They did beat EPS. So they beat by 14.14 or 8.14%. So that's a pretty big beat. It came in at 93% versus 86%. So that's awesome. The revenue they beat too. They were analysts thought they were going to come in at 6.4 billion. They came in at 6.48 billion. So they beat by a little bit, by $800,000. So that's still a beat. It's not a massive beat, but for what people thought the consumer was going to slow down, and they lowered guidance, and people thought that people were going to stop spending, which is not the case. We really, if you look at American Express, Visa, or MasterCard, they all reported like consumers are still spending. So we're obviously, as a payment method processor, PayPal is involved directly with those companies. I think PayPal is linked with MasterCard. So am I buying heavy right now? I just kind of answer that. No, I'm not. But if I was making a position in this stock or I didn't have one, I would, after seeing these numbers, I think they're going to have a stronger Q3 and Q4. They are doing obviously those inflation stimulus relief checks, and some states are coming out starting as early as October. We have to remember that's going to roll into Q4 and maybe the tail end of Q3 as far as earnings for these companies. So we have to remember that. I think people aren't really baking that in, and that's really going to boost the revenue and the bottom line and blow out some inventory, especially for the holidays, especially if we don't have another COVID lockdown, which I don't think we're going to have personally. But as inflation goes down, we don't have a lockdown this year. I could see the holidays being a very strong dollar and very profitable for all these larger companies, especially transaction companies like PayPal. So yesterday, Monday, the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 finished all red. My portfolio was up, so it was green. And today is the second day in a row. The Dow was down 1.22, the S&P was down 0.66, the Nasdaq was down 0.16, and my portfolio was actually green 3% even. So I destroyed the market again today. So what this is basically telling me, the sentiment's kind of flipping a little bit. It's showing that all the mid and small caps, maybe a little more risk on stocks, they were super oversold, expecting the worst for these Q2 earnings. And I think as the big ones come out and the large caps, and now the mids are starting to roll out, I think people are starting to realize that like maybe the economy is as bad as we thought. Maybe inflation is going to head down next week when the CPI data comes out. So I think there's a lot of things where maybe people sitting on the sidelines were waiting. They're starting to plow money back into the market now. So I was dollar cost averaging, buying like crazy the whole entire time as it was falling for the past basically 18 months in small caps, and basically the past 9-10 months with mid caps and stuff like that. So I'm kind of how I'm doing it is I'm kind of just sacking my cash, waiting for an opportunity. Obviously, we had a very euphoric run the past 6 weeks. July had the best run in a month dating back to November of 2020, so like a year and a half ago, basically. So with that said, some people might take profits, especially swing traders, day traders, and stuff like that. So that's kind of my thoughts on what I'm doing with my cash. The JOLTS did come out yesterday, so this is like basically the job openings. And really what we want is a 1-to-1 ratio. So one job opening for one person that's unemployed. Right now it's like 1.8 to 1. So that means that the economy's still really strong. The JOLTS, the analyst did predict, like, I forget off the top of my head, it was like, whatever number it may have been, let's just say 800K, right? Well, it came in less than what they wanted. So that's good. That means that the Fed is doing what the market wants. They're tightening. There's less jobs available. So as this number goes down and it gets closer to 1-to-1, the Fed's going to be less aggressive in hiking in the future. Maybe during the September meeting, depending on what CPI is in the August and September report for that meeting. So that's all really good. There's a lot of stuff going on with Pelosi visiting Taiwan, and that's all smoke in my opinion. It's just, that's all political stuff in my opinion. I'm not going to get involved, I'm not going to get into that on this channel, but basically I don't think really China's going to do anything. They're not going to proceed and invade or anything like that in my opinion. So that's just, that could just be a really good buying opportunity if there's some sell-off in the market right now. So yeah, so that's really all I got. That's kind of my thoughts. I'm kind of just being patient. I make videos when I buy and what portion of my portfolio, like what portion of that stock I just bought, just so you can get kind of a gauge on how heavy I went. And yeah, that's really all I got. So trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of August. So I think I'm right around 900 right now. So if you haven't subscribed, much appreciated, hit the button down below right over there. Till tomorrow, peace.